Hi everyone, this is Random Chat, and yes, I'm making yet another video. And today I'm going to discuss about two videos that I saw on YouTube, one by Russell Brand and one by a guy called Harris Sultan. Both of these videos that were made by these two people had very good valid points, and both these guys were pointing out really how stupid British law has become. So let's talk about Russell Brand's video that I watched a couple of days ago. Russell Brand was making a video on the bizarre reasons to arrest people here in Britain. And when I say arrest people here in Britain, I mean arresting British people. As we all know, supporting Palestine action is now a criminal offence under a terrorist act. But there was one clip of this guy who was wearing a t-shirt in which across the front of the t-shirt it said Plasticine Action. For some reason the police decided to arrest him for having this t-shirt on. Now if you don't know what plasticine is, it's basically what children used to make models out of. So this guy with the t-shirt on, Plasticine Action, was approached by the police and then arrested for wearing this t-shirt. Now you can understand it was like Palestine Action, and that is why the police approached him. But plasticine? Is that now an arrestable offence? So yes, arresting someone for wearing a t-shirt with Plasticine Action on was very bizarre, and I would have loved to see the outcome of it when he got taken to the police station. Probably safe to say it didn't actually go to court and he was released without any charge. But the other thing Russell Brand was talking about is even more bizarre than the plasticine t-shirt, in which he showed a video clip of this young man who was arrested by two police officers. And I guess you're asking, why was this young man arrested by two police officers? Well, the simple answer to that is because he shouted out, "I love bacon." Now, apparently, it's now an offence to shout out "I love bacon" within a public place. Yes, I am being serious. He was arrested just for saying that. It is clearly now an offence to wear a t-shirt with plasticine on, and also an offence to shout out in public, "I love bacon." I bet you there are a load of pig farmers across Britain who are now shitting themselves because they are going to be arrested for owning pigs. Because there's bound to be some loophole within the law stating it is a criminal offence. Who knows, anything can happen within Britain. We have seen so many stupid and ludicrous reasons why the British police have arrested British people. But whatever you do here in Britain, do not say "I love bacon." You could seriously wind up being arrested. So it just shows, just within that, how pathetic our legal system has become here in Britain. How British people can be arrested for carrying out no criminal offence whatsoever, because the police will make up some phony charge or some bizarre reason why they are arresting you. But at the end of the day, they cannot really justify why they're doing so, and this is why people are not charged when they're taken to the police station. Now, regards to the other guy, Harris Sultan, in which, in his video, he pointed out Britain is run under a two-tier ruling, especially regards to our flags. As many of you probably already know, that there is now a trend to go out and paint anything that's white with a red cross representing the George Cross here in Britain, in which basically roundabouts, zebra crossings, and anything that's got a white square on it or a white circle is basically getting a little bit of a facelift. And yes, this shows how the British people feel, and that we are standing up for our country and for our rights to fly our flags. I will agree at some aspect now it's getting out of hand. Now it just seems to be vandalising anywhere. If you've got a white wall, someone will come along and put a red cross on it. This trend of painting a red cross on anything that's really painted white has got out of hand a little bit. But what's got out of hand more than that is how the councils are going around ripping down the Union flag or Union Jack, depends what you want to call it, and George crosses from our lampposts. They are calling it a terrorist act or a hate crime. So they are literally going out in force, pulling down these flags. What Harris Sultan pointed out with one council who were literally pulling down all the flags in that area, I cannot remember which town it was or city, but what he was pointing out is that every single member of that council on the street dealing with this removal of the Union flag and the George Cross flags, none of these members were British. He pointed out that every single member of that council on the street carrying out their job were foreign. So the council are employing people who are non-British and ordering them to go out and rip down our flags, our British flags, our English flags. Yes, these people are only doing their job. I can respect that. I cannot respect the councils for going out and basically condoning destroying our culture and our ways and our rights to be British or English, because that is how it's coming across. But this Horace Sultan also pointed out how Palestinian flags within certain areas are still flying on lampposts and the councils are not going out pulling them down. So why is this? Is it perfectly acceptable here in Britain to fly the Palestinian flag, to fly the Pakistani flag, but it's not acceptable here in Britain to fly the Union flag or Union Jack, whatever you wish to classify it as, and it's definitely not acceptable to fly the George Cross. Flying the George Cross is apparently now an act of racism, despite the fact that it has represented this country as an English flag for a very long time. But now it is deemed to be a racist flag. And not far behind the George Cross is the Union flag. The Union Jack is also being classified almost as being racist by flying it. So British people are basically here in our own country no longer allowed to fly our own flags. And we have to literally accept that the fact that flying Palestinian flags or Pakistani flags is perfectly acceptable and we must tolerate it. So this is just two more aspects pointed out by two different people, Russell Brand and Horace Sultan, literally showing how ludicrous this country has become regards to the British people. So it's clearly understandable why people are suddenly standing up in the thousands, waving flags, the Union flags, the George Cross flags, and standing up for their rights to do so. Because basically, it is our right to fly these flags. It is our country. And if people come to this country and they don't like the idea of us flying our flags, well, maybe they should not be in this country. Because if you're coming here to Britain, you cannot accept our culture and our ways, then you don't belong here. But there are so many people coming to this country nowadays who are clearly trying to force their culture and their way of life upon us. And we are the ones who have to accept this and adopt their ways. Well, I'm sorry, that is not going to happen. This is Britain, and we are going to stand up and make sure everybody in this country knows it. So fly those flags high, the British flags. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your background, your culture. This is your country. You have the right to fly the Union flag, the Union Jack, and the George Cross, because that is your flag. And if anybody doesn't like it, then tough. It's hard luck, because we are not going to change our ways to suit those coming here. This is our country, and they need to remember that. So be proud of your culture, your background, of where you've come from. So I'd love to hear your comments on what I've just said, regards to the Plasticine Action t-shirt, regards to I Love Bacon. Do you think that this is basically British law getting way out of hand? And do you think that we have the rights to fly our flags with pride? Or should we bow our heads in shame and hide our identity and allow others to come to Britain and take it over? So click that comment section and let me know what you think. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to help my channel grow. And I would be very grateful if you gave this video a thumbs up. And don't forget, go check out all my other videos. So until my next video, it's goodbye from me, Random Chat. Well, that's it for now. Until the next video. Goodbye.